The following photo may just show the first alien species we have ever seen out in space. Researchers from the University of Sheffield, and the Centre of Astrobiology, at the University of Buckingham in the UK, unveiled an incredible photograph back in 2013. The photo shows a mysterious organism which was subjected to various analysis that proves it is the first unequivocal piece of evidence to the existence of extraterrestrial life. The alien organism, which does not exceed 10 micrometers, has been named the Dragon particle, and is a biological entity composed of carbon and oxygen, the essential elements of life. This discovery proves that mankind did not originate on Earth, but elsewhere in the universe, according to the research team. This is exciting news, to say the least. It seems we are getting closer and closer to an answer as to whether or not we are alone in the universe. As reported by several websites earlier this year, a very strange artifact has been discovered in Peru. A skull, bearing the resemblance of a gray alien, is now being examined, and shows signs that it is definitely a bone. It measures in at 3 to 5 millimeters thick, and still has a stiff, gray, skin-like material attached to it, according to Hidden Inca Tours. It also has a very narrow foramen magnum aperture, where presumably a very thin vertebral system once entered the skull. They also went on to say in the article that it is relatively bilaterally symmetrical, and that the skull is greatly elongated. As well as saying, though easy to state, that it is a complex fake, the caretaker and those that presumably found it, along with other specimens, have no access to artisans or taxidermists that could have made them. Here we see the underpart of the skull. The caretaker removed some of the bone and exposed what is presumably marrow. So, could this be in fact the skull from an ancient alien being? Is it an elaborate hoax, one that would be very difficult to fake? Or is there a more rational explanation as to what this is? We'll have to wait and see. A wonderful story on helenastales.weebly.com asks the question: is this a huge million-year-old man-made underground complex? Dr. Alexander Koltypin, a geologist and director of the Natural Science Research Center at Moscow's International Independent University of Ecology, thinks so. All around the Mediterranean, Koltypin has studied ancient underground structures, and due to similarities, he believes they were once connected, as well as believing they were built by an advanced civilization hundreds of thousands, or even millions of years ago. On his website, Earth Before the Flood, he wrote, "When we examined the constructions, none of us never for a moment had a doubt that they are much older than other cities and settlements that are placed on and around it." Going on to say that he was personally convinced once again that all these rectangular indentations, man-made underground structures, and scattered debris of megaliths were one underground terrestrial megalithic complex, which was opened by erosion to a depth of several hundred meters. Koltypin estimates the sites located in central and northern Israel, as well as central Turkey, were all exposed after erosion cut into the earth 1,000 feet down. He said, such depth of erosion could hardly be formed in less time than 500,000 to 1 million years. But what the story didn't ask is whether or not this was ancient humans, or if something else was at play here. Could this be evidence of ancient alien visitation? As many ufologists believe, If not, then the history of man will surely be rewritten, as the article suggests. Hopefully one day we will know for sure. The Cassini spacecraft launched back in 1997, and has been observing the planet Saturn system since arriving in 2004. Now, over the last few weeks, stunning images of Saturn have been coming in from the Cassini spacecraft to NASA. Like this beautiful photo of Saturn's rings. And this one of its moon Prometheus. But now, NASA has released these breathtaking shots of Saturn from Cassini's new mission phase called the Ring Grazing Orbits, which began on November 30th. In these images we see our first view of Saturn's atmosphere. The photos capture scenes from high above Saturn's northern hemisphere, including the planet's intriguing hexagon-shaped jet stream. These images are amazing, and further shows us the true beauty of our solar system. Let's hope many more will be released soon. Now if anything has continued to baffle NASA, it's the bright spots on the dwarf planet Ceres. Photo after photo we see the strange anomalies glowing in the vastness of space. Even the closest view has researchers scratching their heads. And with the release of a colorized map of Ceres taken by NASA's Dawn spacecraft, it only adds to the mystery of these bright spots located in the Achater crater. But after coming across these comparison photos on a UFO forum, you can't help but wonder if they are the lights of an alien city. That is only speculation, but just look at these side-by-side overhead shots of Ceres and Las Vegas. They look very close to identical. But as always, it is for you to decide what you think they could be. With the announcement of flowing water that thaws after cold Martian winters on Mars back in September of 2015, seen here in these streaks, NASA's scientists have speculated that there could be some creatures that wait for this water to start flowing, then emerge from hibernation to drink it. In this NASA rover picture, found on the Facebook page, Journey to the Surface of the Mars, there is a strange turtle-shaped object that can be seen. The object is hard to miss, due to the long neck-like section, and what can only be described as a shell. If we add a bit of color to the photo, it is easier to see. This really opens up the imagination a bit for sure. But wouldn't it be fascinating to find out that similar creatures to the ones we have here on Earth could be walking around on Mars as well? Wouldn't that give hope that one day we could too? As always, you decide. Back on September 27, 2015, several V-shaped objects were photographed during a rare blood moon. A handful of photos were submitted of the event to the MUFON database over the next few days. The first submissions from California seemed to show strange shapes among the clouds, even looking as if they were clouds. But in another case from Oregon, they were more solid, and seemed to be glowing. Could they be alien craft? Or were these hoaxes, photoshopped, or just simply unexplainable aircraft? There hasn't been any update on these cases, and they are still posted on MUFON, which most likely means they have not been solved. But hopefully one day they are. UFOSightsDaily.com is reporting the discoveries of 3 alien bases on the moon using Google Earth. But is this fact or fiction? Let's take a look. This first one is remarkable. You can see what looks like very sharp angles, resembling some kind of facility, and it appears to have at least 2 to 3 entrances. It doesn't match the area around it at all, and looks out of place as if it was constructed here. The second alleged base is astounding. The bottom is perfectly straight and has a black square shape on top. It also looks like it has a tower or second level. It in no way looks natural. The last one is hard to make out, but like the other two does not fit into the landscape around it. Depending on how you view it, it could either look like a face, or some kind of building with 2 large towers. These finds are incredible to say the least. But are they alien bases? Or could this be a military installation that we are not being told about? Or maybe they are just simply unexplainable, or freaks of nature. Hopefully more information will come out in the future.